All right, guys, I just want to walk through the installation of the BimmerLight. Obviously I've got the written up instructions on the website, but I just thought I'd do a quick video kind of detailing what you all need to do as well. So I've got a new unit here ready to go with all the wiring, and I'm going to walk you through kind of what you need to do to get this installed. Is actually pretty simple. So the first thing we're going to work on is we need to remove this mirror trim cover here. So I'd recommend, if you can, do this when the car is a little bit warmer, it's been sitting in the sun. That's going to make all the plastic a little bit softer. You're less likely to break tabs. If you do break some tabs, you can actually lose quite a few of them. I've had this panel out a number of times for radar detector install, dash cam, other things. I'm missing a few tabs. Everything still works fine. So if you break one or two tabs, don't worry about it too much. You can always replace it too. These parts are pretty cheap. So first thing we need to do to get access to the wiring for the mirror that's behind here, that's how we're going to power that BimmerLight. We need to actually just pull this mirror trim down. So this actually just pops down. So you just pull down on both sides, and then it's going to kind of pull down and back. And so you can see there's the trim, and you can see all the different tabs in there. So that's kind of what you're dealing with. So again, not too likely to break anything on this one. And then the next thing is there's these two halves. So there's a half here and a half here that covers the bottom. You will need to remove these so you can get to the harness behind it. So these actually just pull down and out. This is more likely where you're going to break tabs. So you can see all these little tabs here on the end. And you can actually see that I'm missing one there on the left side. So you're going to break these potentially, but again, everything's still going to snap together even if you manage to break one. Just take your time, be careful, you probably won't break them. So once you've done that, now what we need to do is to actually access the mirror power. So let me grab a flashlight here and just kind of show you. So there is your actual mirror power. So ground is over on the far left and the power is on the far right. Now, once we've done that, we essentially want to stick our mirror tap in there. So again, that is these little guys here. So your ground and your 12-volt ignition or switched power. And then once we've done that, we're going to plug the wires in there. And then we basically want to run the wires up, under this headliner along the windshield. And then once you get over here to this pillar, what I really recommend is you actually follow the difference between the headliner and the trim, and actually kind of tuck here and up around this outside. That's going to be your best path of wiring, and that'll actually get you so you're not in front of the airbag as well. And then once we get over here, what I really recommend doing is actually pulling down this weather stripping. So this will actually just pull right down and pull down past this panel here, because this is going to give you the best access. So what this allows you to do is now you can actually see behind this trim, so it's super easy to run this wire down here. And then what we're going to work on is, the photo sensor is actually going to go up on the dash, and then the actual BimmerLight module is really easy to mount behind this panel. And then the LED mount for the dash is actually just going to run behind this trim. So once you've removed this weather stripping and it's out of your way, this panel here actually just pulls right out. So you can get behind there and just pull that out just like that. And then what you're dealing with is there's two screws. There's one here and one up here. Those are a T20. That's a Torx 20. And once you remove both of those, then this dash trim here actually will just pull out. So you can just pull on it. And that'll and all you need to do is pull it out that far, just far enough that we can get the wire behind it and kind of come out on this corner. So that's kind of it in terms of assembly. Now the next thing to do is just get everything installed and route it. So give me a minute here to get a couple things in here, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. Okay, so what I actually do to get these wires in, and I just use a set of needle nose pliers and hold the wire and push it down. So again, in terms of the wiring, you can see it super well, but the brown wire on the far left is your ground, and there's a red wire on the far right. That is your switch power, and those pins will just slide right in. Again, if you use needle nose pliers, that's the easiest way to get those in. So I have the wires routed roughly. Just want to show that. So again, my mirror tap, give yourself just a little bit of room here, our extra wire here. And then again, we want to run up underneath this headliner. You can just get your fingers up behind that. The part that's going to give you a little trouble is a little tight here. So you want to use a trim tool or something to kind of tuck behind and then wrap into here, and then this first little bit. But again, you want to run out and around here, and then run the wire easily down this trim here. And then all the wires are going to basically come out right here. Our photo sensor is going to go up through there. Our LED for the dash is going to be behind this trim. Going to kind of come out here, and then it's just going to come up and snap in. And then in this nice little cubby here, we have basically all of our wires. We have our BimmerLight module with the tabs, and we're basically just going to zip tie that you know, behind here, and that is pretty much it as far as that routing and installation. Now again, as far as this you know, as far as this dash piece, this just snaps in. Again, you basically want it roughly where that 3/4 tank mark is, and that's the right spot. And then, you know, want this shrink wrap typing just kind of tucked behind, and we're going to kind of tuck it behind this trim. This dash sensor needs to point up. If you have a state park sticker or any sort of registration sticker up here, you might need to mount this a little bit farther back, but the goal is you want this sensor in direct sunlight so that it can read the light level of what's going on, and that is what we are looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and get those things tucked in. Again, this trim piece here on the left side, you can see that moves pretty easily, so super easy to kind of fish this in here. And even though this is a little thicker with the shrink wrap, this will slide right in there as well. Okay, so we got everything buttoned up, so all the trim is back. When you install this trim, make sure you get this bottom in first, so kind of in and then snap up. There's some tabs on here that hook to these bottom trim pieces. And then once we do that, again, we route the wires over through here, and then you just kind of neatly tuck them up underneath there. And then, you know, you can see our dash trim, we just tuck in between here, and we have the little photo sensor up there. Sorry, there you go, now you can see it better. So you can see the little photo sensor up there. I didn't put this side trim on yet. And then you can kind of see here, again, just to the left of the 3/4 tab, this snaps in, and they have this little bit of wiring that just kind of routes into here. So now you can kind of figure out if you want to route this wire straight down or up here, this will bend. If you want to heat this up with a heat gun or a hair dryer, this will become really flexible again, and you can kind of reshape it. So that's a little trick you can use on that. But that is kind of it. So we are on, we are powered up, so you can see this is running. So that is it. That is a BimmerLight here installed in this 2019 X5, and you can see our dash, our display is super bright. Again, we are reading the daylight from the sensor, so what it is out there, and that controls this LED, which will not only brighten up this display, it'll also brighten up this display as well. So these two displays here are actually linked. So I hope that video is helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I hope this helps. So thank you very much.